They finally come. The prophecy is fulfilled. The daylight begins to disappear, and the whole world is plunged into total darkness. We must protect the Dragon Tower in order to save our world. For us and for them. They come from our future.
In 1461, one of the largest and bloodiest battles of the Wars of the Roses unfolded upon a bitterly cold and windswept plateau in northern England, between the rival dynasties of York and Lancaster. Journey back to the killing fields of Towton Moor. Chroniclers of the battle disagree over its exact timing, but claims that it lasted through the night likely refer to minor skirmishes. Most agree that the main battle began on the morning of Palm Sunday, 1461. Accounts of the exact number of troops also vary, from 200,000 to 300,000 on each side, to more conservative modern estimates. The battle would eventually confirm Edward, Duke of York, as King of England. His opposite number, himself only 25, led the Lancastrians.
No quarter! No quarter!
The Yorkist nobleman, Lord Falkenberg, ordered his bowmen to loose a single volley of arrows at the Lancastrians. The Lancastrians replied with volleys of sustained fire. Firing into a headwind, the Lancastrian arrows all fell short, allowing the Yorkist archers to reply and force the Lancastrians to abandon their high ground. The ranks of opposing billmen were a formidable sight, each man wielding a 6-foot bill, used to slice, stab, block, parry and pull adversaries off balance. In the ensuing hand-to-hand combat, axes, war hammers, maces, daggers and pole axes were designed to stun, crush and punch holes in armour. The higher-ranking knights were the tanks of the period, their full plate armour weighing up to 25 kilograms. The late arrival of the Yorkist rearguard began to turn the advantage in favour of the Yorkists. The later stages of the battle were brutal, with notions of chivalry and honour giving way to execution and mutilation. Lancastrians found themselves trapped in the swollen waters of Cockbeck and the River Wharfe. Modern estimates place the number of dead in the aftermath of the battle at around 13,000, making the Battle of Towton one of the biggest and bloodiest battles ever fought on English soil.
I really don't like starting a project immediately after being given it. If I know I'm starting something on a Monday, for instance, I will always ask for information on the Thursday or the Friday. No matter how busy I am on a weekend with personal stuff, at least it's gone into my head and there's stuff starting. Graphic design, for me at least, is communicating an idea visually. We've got shape, we've got photography, we've got colour, we've got typography, and you kind of amass through experience a set of tricks when you're kerning your text. Imagine pouring liquid between the gaps of each of the characters, and is the same amount of liquid in between the characters. Any colour will always look good on any shade of grey, without a doubt. You can play with that rule as well, you know, so if you put 2 greys in, you can put 2 different colours that don't usually match. You wouldn't be able to put them colours together on something, but the minute you put 2 greys, they'll work. Basic shapes that you can draw from a young age that are found in all cultures. Everybody can relate to them, and you combine a couple together and they create meaning, and a lot of the time it's universal meaning. The reason we start with a grid usually is it provides a framework to lay out all the other elements on, to provide a rhythm for pieces. The grid is a starting point, but I don't think it's the ending point. Do not let the grid, do not let the expectations define what you're designing. It's really easy to dress something up with fancy colours, fancy effects, fancy type styles and stuff, but to actually take something simple and make that memorable, that's the big challenge.
All the houses I've lived in form a separate village in a parallel world. The light's always on. Sometimes they're not whole houses, but rooms, refrigerator parts, pieces of furniture, strips of hallways, tables chopped in half. We're all still living there, only we're turned off. Nobody's looking at us. It's full of things that couldn't move with me. A book not good enough. The cup without a handle that you'd given me. Then I broke it, left it behind. Even there, if you don't pay the light bill, they'll eventually cut it off. Everything has already happened. Everything has stopped rotting at some point. There's also that hospital they haven't finished building. They keep hiring new nurses, who then plunge into the darkness. I remember the nose of the first dead person I've seen. It looked like a tunnel. His mustache turned gray in no time. I don't know who still uses big razor blades, cuts their skin, then dries it with toilet paper. The clothes you left, I sent them far away. They flew. They smelled like closet. When the last phone booth will be eradicated, we'll have a small party and play broken telephone. And at the end, someone will understand how to spell your name. All consonants. An important name. With only consonants. You're lost. You're lost, and now they've closed the road. If you keep going, you'll fall into the dark, and they'll all forget about you. Your family will find your things, but they won't know whose photos those are anymore. They'll call the police.
The thief has brought his memories here. We don't want them. Just want to go home.
In the last booth in the world, you'll pay with polo candies.